everybody, today I am back with another painting video, and while on this channel I usually focus on music and bands, today I'm making a video about one of my favorite animes actually, although it does have a really great original soundtrack on the topic of music, I'm focusing more on the series itself, and I feel it kind of fits within what one could consider an emo genre unto itself, which is Welcome to the NHK. So Welcome to the NHK was written by Tatsuhiko Takimoto and published by Kadokawa Shoten in Japan in January of 2002. And following its release was the anime adaptation, which first aired in July of 2006. I first watched this anime well over a decade ago during a really tough time in my life, and it was strange because there seemed to be some coincidence in my stumbling upon it, as if it had presented itself at the perfect time in a really crucial moment. So, it had stuck with me throughout the years, and after some recent struggles on the topic of isolation, feeling like a failure, or societal rejection, I figured it would be good timing. So, for those who aren't familiar, Welcome to the NHK focuses on the story of Sato Tatsuhiro, who is an isolated shut-in, and in Japan, it's referred to as a NEET, NEET, so not educated, employed, or in training is what it stands for. But you could also be known as a hikikomori. And I feel many people who are familiar with Japanese culture may know this term, but regardless, that seems to be an increasing and worldwide epidemic. Struggle all over the world. So anyhow, Sato, the main character, the one on the left, he has a very pessimistic view on life, which is coupled with like an extreme social anxiety, and it's usually so bad he can't even be bothered to leave his apartment for food. And he begins to believe that there's a conspiracy that targeted him, making him a hikikomori, and he believes that is the NHK, which he believes stands for Nihon Hikikomori Kyoka, which is a parody of the real Japanese Broadcasting Corporation. So you could think of like the BBC in Britain, same concept with the acronyms. But of course this is a paranoid delusion, but Sato uses this in a way to decode all of the horrible things that have happened to him. So one day, he meets a girl named Misaki, who is on the right in this picture, and she's on a missionary excursion with her aunt, kind of going door to door, and they knock on his door, and eventually it becomes known Sato is a hikikomori, and a weird codependent relationship starts to begin between the two of them. And there's other characters in the series, like Sato also has a neighbor who's an otaku named Yamazaki, and they begin to be friends, and I don't want to give too much away about the story, but that's also an important relationship. But between all of the relationship, there's a lot of humor and adult themes and darkness, but also humility that is portrayed within the relationships, but also within self-reflection of Sato. So I won't go into too much detail. I don't want to spoil the series, but it does deal with some of the darkest and most shameful emotions that we have as people. One thing I really, really like about the series is how Misaki approaches the topic of God. And to paraphrase something, she says, a majority of our life is suffering. And if there is a God, he must be evil. But where is he? if there was a God, I could ask him why he does such horrible things. Then I wouldn't be alone and have to blame myself for everything. But yeah, so she essentially is trying to reform Sato with these counseling meetings they have, so he'll stop being a hikikomori. But the script kind of gets flipped because it becomes clear that she needs to be needed, probably more than anyone represented in the series. And another cool thing that's pointed out is Sato has a realization that if, only 1% of conspiracies are actually true, maybe the 1% is applicable to each individual person. So each person has their own evil organization plotting against them. Some people would call it God or conspiracy. It's just in his case, he calls it the NHK, but each one has one specifically tailored to themselves. So I thought that was kind of a really interesting way to look at life. And there's a lot of really great quotes from the series too, like Yamazaki when he says, "A drama has a progressive thought, an emotional climax, and a resolution. But our lives aren't like that. All we get, day after day, are a bunch of vague anxieties that are never really resolved." And so if anyone's wondering what this has to do with my usual content, again, I could talk about the music, which at first I wanted to use in this video, but I would just suggest to check it out yourself. But one of my favorites would be Dark Side ni Tsutekite by Yui Makino. And it's in Japanese, but if you were to translate the lyrics into English, it would be something like, "The smile you thought to be a figment of your imagination was actually an important sign I wanted to show you. I subtly gesture to you, to the place where the door where a new world awaits. Come to the dark side with me. I want to draw a starry sky in your thoughts. Come into the mirror, the two of us forever and ever, echo in this room." And yeah, there's many more really good songs, and I would just suggest to check it out for yourself. And yeah, so on the topic of the painting too, it's actually pretty simple. This is actually just an image I'm essentially coloring in, and it's like a title page from chapter 18 of the manga, which is titled "Welcome to the Trap." And I love this image for a really long time. I used to actually have a t-shirt of this I had drawn on just a regular t-shirt with Sharpie, and I lost it a long time ago. So here I am circling back to it. But yeah, I guess if anyone is feeling down, I feel like this series can relate to nearly anybody, because it's just about the nature of life, and there's really no answer to anything. It's really just a will to keep moving forward, even if your dreams don't seem to work out the way you planned, or if you think you're a completely broken person, there's always hope. So until the next time, I hope you enjoyed this video, however simple or short, and stay safe and stay sane. Till the next time, take care.